In this video, we're diving into all the apps that I use on my OnePlus Pad 2. This is a totally unfiltered video. I'll be sharing all the apps that I use on this device. So if you own this tablet, hopefully my experience will help you get some ideas through this. And trust me, there might be an app that might just catch your eye. So my name is Prithviraj and I create videos on productivity, tech and life. So this is how my home screen looks like. I really like this mint green kind of wallpaper that we have by default, so I've kept that as of now. The home screen setup is fairly simple. I have the default widgets with the apps that I use the most. I generally have my to-do list widget on the front, but for some reason I didn't really want to keep it over here. But as usual, Todoist. This is the app that I use to manage my day-to-day life. Like for example, this is my task list for today, like filming this video, and then I'll have to edit one shot and then upload it as well. So those are the tasks that I have to do it. Also, I'll have to fix my setup, like it's currently messed up at this stage, so that is also in my to-do list. And the thing I like the most about Todoist is that we can create folders based on our projects, so that way I can easily track different projects of mine. So yeah, that's helpful in that aspect. Notion, of course, I manage my entire YouTube channel from here. Like these are the videos I'm working on at this stage, so here's a sneak peek of all my upcoming videos, so stay tuned for that. So this view is shared with my editor so that we both know what is the progress of a specific video that we are working on, and also what date we need to upload that. Organizing your life is really important if you want to stay consistent, and we have been working on that. So Notion is still my favorite app for my project management stuff. Also, I have this scripts folder over here, so if I wanted to take a look at any of my past scripts, I can quickly access them from here. So this is a mammoth of an app to manage every aspect of your life. I highly recommend this one. And if you're interested in knowing how I manage my entire life using Notion, then leave a comment below and I'll try to create a video on that as well. So the problem with iPad is that we don't have a native app for Instagram. So this is how Instagram looks like on the iPad, and this is how it looks like on my OnePlus Pad 2. So I really feel Meta has some sort of issues with Apple, so we don't have a native app there as of now. But if you have an Android tablet, you're well covered and you have the actual app you want, like it is built natively for Android devices. And also, please follow me on Instagram. So I have kept the default OnePlus Notes app for testing purposes, and I must say this is really bad. So if you're using the OnePlus Pad 2, I recommend you use the other third-party apps that we have. For example, I have this one called Notewise, and this one had a fairly good experience, but the OnePlus Pen kind of lags, I must say. I pointed out in my previous video where we dive deep into the note-taking experience using the OnePlus Pad 2. And this was one of my favorite apps, and we have another one, I'll be mentioning them later. But as of now, Notewise is another handwritten note-taking app, and this has become one of my favorite note-taking apps for Android as of now. And here in Notewise, I have loaded up my daily planner template as well. I do this thing every morning. Planning your day is super important. I've mentioned this multiple times in my videos. So for example, the most important task for my day was to film this video. So as you can see, it is noted down over here. And then also I have scheduled my day, like at what time I'll be doing what. And we also have a mini handwritten to-do list over here. I don't really maintain my to-do list from here because I like to use Todoist, but there's something about writing it down with your own hands that makes you feel good and more accountable. Like it kind of signals your brain when you write them with your own hands, no matter how ugly your handwriting is, it still gives a personal touch and gives you that sense of accountability that you need to get things done, no matter how many digital tools comes out. But still, there's nothing like your own handwriting, so I still keep using my daily planner template for that. It really is more customized for me. Also, I've created a weekly as well as a monthly planner so that you can manage your entire life using this one, so you can check it out if you're interested. We'll be leaving its link in the description box below the like button. And of course Netflix, cause I like to binge watch my favorite shows and movies over there, so that is that. In my previous What's on My Device video, someone commented if I'm subscribed to Medium, and yes, I am. I really love reading articles over here, can be super satisfying. If you don't know Medium, it's like YouTube but for writers. So people simply share their thoughts on random topics they're interested in, and I really enjoy this aspect, reading what people feel like on a particular thing, and yeah, I can get some takeaway from that as well. ChatGPT, of course, if you aren't using ChatGPT, you're missing out on a lot of stuff. So whatever issues that I face in my day-to-day life, I simply ask to ChatGPT. It has become my therapist, my personal coach, my personal assistant, and everything of that sort. So I highly recommend that you start using ChatGPT if you don't use it as of now, cause it's insane. YouTube, of course, cause where else can you find me and my videos? So yeah. And also YouTube Studio. This is like the default app for any YouTuber you might know. From here we get access to all the analytics of my videos, like how they are performing, and also I'm able to see all the comments you guys leave on my videos from here, so yeah, thank you for that. Spotify is still my go-to place for listening to music. One of the primary reasons I don't switch to Apple Music or something else is the web app that we have. Spotify is truly cross-platformed. We don't really have a great app for Windows or Mac for other music streaming services, but for Spotify it really works out well. So no matter whichever device I'm playing Spotify on, I can like adjust them from my Apple Watch as well, and I can change tracks like that. Super convenient. The cross-platform aspect has seriously kept me me hooked to Spotify. So this was pretty much my home screen. I have the default dock as of now, like calls, messages, Google Chrome and camera of course. I haven't really changed much stuff on my dock over here. I pointed this out in my OnePlus Pad 2 review. Like I really like this mini app drawer that we have. So it really becomes convenient to access them one-handed. And yeah, it kind of looks good and it lets you access all your apps quite easily over here. Moving on to the next page, Clip Studio Paint. If you are a digital artist, this is one of the best apps you can get on Android tablets. We don't have Procreate here on Android tablets, but yeah, Clip Studio Paint is a legendary app in that aspect, I must say. I know many people who use this one for digital art. The experience using the OnePlus Pen isn't the great here on this app. I faced a lot of latency and there has been issues with palm rejection as well. So yeah, this is the area with the OnePlus Pen kind of lack. The OnePlus Pad 2 has a stunning display, but this is one aspect it falls behind, I must say. So last week I was kind of out of town and I was really playing this game a lot, Hitman Sniper. I'm really a fan of the Hitman franchise. I like the stealth kind of thing that they have. We don't go randomly shooting people over here, but you'll have to be strategic with your kills. So it's kind of a fun game when you're on the go, to be honest. Google Calendar for time blocking my stuff and Google Meet for attending meetings, of course. I still have YouTube Music because I am subscribed to YouTube Premium as well. The thing about YouTube Music is that the recommendations over here is spot on. So when I play a song, it exactly knows which song I'd like to enjoy next. So yeah, so this is because Google and YouTube kind of know your entire history, so the recommendations are simply better here. Bumble cause I don't really wanna die alone, you know how it goes. Twitch, so when I'm bored and working, I just play some random gaming streams and it goes in the background. Since I mostly work from home, when I play something like that, it gives me a sense that someone is there working with me. So yeah, I really like Twitch for that aspect. Prime Video for watching movies again. X or Twitter, I'm still gonna call it Twitter, I'm sorry. So this is the best app when you're pooping, so that's for that. Discord for connecting with my gamer friends. I can just see who is playing and all. And when I was out of town, I was actually watching their streams here on Discord. So yeah, that's helpful for that. Rekordbox cause I'm a DJ myself, so I can really like practice my mixes and check out what's working and not. If you wanna become a DJ, this app can be a good starting point because this is the industry standard software. It's by Pioneer themselves. Pioneer is now called Alpha Theta, but yeah, whatever. Steam for stalking my friends, like who is playing what, and also I can check all the games that are on sale when I'm not on my PC as well. Concepts is a whiteboard app. Like it can be a great app for like storyboarding and stuff. It has an infinite canvas, so you can just keep zooming out and keep noting down stuff, so you can like plan your projects quite nicely over here. I really love this app for that aspect. And the best part is the color wheel. So satisfying, to be honest. I can do this all day basically. Alexa, cause I have a lot of Alexa enabled devices. Like I can ask Alexa to turn on my AC in my studio, so yeah, kind of helpful. Makes me even more lazy, but you know how it goes. So while reviewing this tablet, I've been playing a lot of games: FC Mobile, Brawl Stars, Asphalt and BGMI. I don't really play much games on this device. I have been hooked to Sniper as I previously mentioned. Disney Plus Hotstar for again watching movies, especially for those Marvel stuff, cause you only have that here. But unlike Instagram, the default app for Threads here is really bad, so take a look for yourself. We don't really have a native app for Threads yet. In portrait mode, it totally works fine, but the moment we switch to horizontal, it becomes like this, and I'm really sad about that. Kaspersky Password Manager is still my password manager of choice. It really becomes convenient to put in your passwords and stuff. Simple Notes, this is one of my favorite note-taking apps for text-based notes. The reason, because it's totally cross-platformed and it's free. I do all the scripting of my videos on this app, then I copy-paste them to other apps based on my needs. But the only drawback of Simple Notes is that we can't really organize them on folders. So yeah, that is one aspect that is holding me back. So for storing my scripts and stuff, I switch to Notion or Apple Notes for that aspect. So really sad that Simple Notes doesn't really have that feature. Geekbench 6, cause I was testing out the benchmarks of this device. Notion Calendar is finally there for Android, but yeah, the app is still not optimized yet, but at least we have an app as of now. So it's time for me to start complaining again. GoodNotes for Android, it's still really bad. Just take a look for yourself. It is running via Google Chrome. It will mention it themselves that it's running via Chrome, and that is the reason I still don't like GoodNotes for Android. GoodNotes for iPad is still legendary, but GoodNotes for Android still sucks, to be very honest. So if you have seen my note-taking review for the OnePlus Pad 2, Nebo, this is the app that felt the most natural in terms of the writing experience here with the OnePlus Pen. OnePlus Stylo 2, sorry, whatever. So I didn't really face much issues writing stuff here. It was very smooth. So if you have this OnePlus Pad, then I definitely recommend you use Nebo, because this is the one that somewhat gives you a good writing experience and had no issues with palm rejection as well on this app. The handwriting to text conversion feature on this app is really mind-blowing, I must say. It's really accurate. I'm a music producer myself, so yeah, FL Studio Mobile for like making random stuff over here. This app is not ideal for full-fledged production, but you can like jot down some melodies or drum patterns to get some inspiration and the starting point for that. For example, I made a melody on this device. I can simply export the MIDI file and stuff to my computer on the full full-fledged FL Studio, and I can continue it from there. So yeah, kind of helpful for that. So there was an audio clip that was missing in one of my videos, so my editor pointed me that, but I was out of town and didn't have anything else, so I used this app called Dolby On. This is a very useful audio recording app, but the standout feature of this one is that it allows you to record WAV files, which is basically a lossless format. So it has all the details of my audio clip. So yeah, hence the file size of your voice recordings are also large, but that's what I need. I need every single detail in my audio. So I simply recorded from here and sent it to my editor, and we got the video done. So kind of helpful in that aspect. Lightroom is still my favorite photo editing app, but I really find editing photos very therapeutic. It really makes my photos look good, and I can achieve the exact look I'm after in my edit. So yeah, that's kind of helpful. But if you're lazy like me, you can also check out my Lightroom mobile presets pack. Those are basically ready-made presets that you can simply copy and paste on your photos, and you'll get a good starting point. For example, let me take this preset of mine and apply it on this photo. And see, we have a great starting point by default, and now I can customize it based on my look, so half of my task is done. It really speeds up my workflow that way. I really love watching anime, so Crunchyroll is for that. I don't really edit much videos on this device, but Premiere Rush is there just in case I need to get some quick edits done. Pinterest is a great app for getting inspiration. For example, how I want my flat lay videos to look like, so I can get some inspiration seeing what other people are doing. So if you're an artist or you're in the creative field, so this one can help you get some great inspirations on what you can work on next. Reddit, cause it's Reddit, you can like check what's going on in the world and what people are complaining about. So yeah, it's really great for that stuff. Kindle for reading books and Audible for listening to audiobooks as well. So this is my Audible library in case you're interested. So these are the books I've been listening to as of now. Perfect Piano is like a calm piano app, so when I'm just bored, I can simply play some chords and like enlighten my mood kind of stuff. SoundCloud. There are a lot of artists that I follow who only upload their mixes on SoundCloud. So it's still the goated app for listening to mixes and stuff. Like yeah, it's really great. The thing about SoundCloud is that artists can directly upload on SoundCloud. Like if I have an audio file, I can upload it there, but you can't do that on Spotify and stuff. For uploading your music on Spotify, you need to go through a third-party service like a distributor, but it's not the same for SoundCloud. You can directly upload it there. Hence, we have a lot more options here. And NordVPN is my VPN of choice, not sponsored. I use it myself. I'm paying for its subscription, so yeah, that's pretty much self-explanatory. So these were all the apps that I have here on my OnePlus Pad 2. So if you have this device, hopefully I was able to share my experience on what all you can use and make the most out of your tablet. Thing about Android tablets is that we have a lot of pro apps on the iPad which are still not there for the Android. It's just not there. I don't know why, but we don't. So if you want to know about the apps that I use on my iPad 10 Gen, then click here on this video and I'll see you there.